Rehearsal for the royal wedding on Friday. Streets were sealed off before dawn to enable soldiers and sailors to practice their roles in the parade that will precede the wedding of Prince William and Kate Middleton. The royal wedding procession will start at Westminster Abbey and finish, of course, at Buckingham Palace. And that's where my colleague Michal Hussain is now. Michal, over to you on a very sunny afternoon.
It is lovely here, George. One can only hope that the sun shines as brightly for William and Kate on Friday as it is for us here today. But we're here right outside Buckingham Palace. This whole area will probably be thronged by thousands of people. And at this time on Friday, they'll be probably just moments away from actually catching a glimpse of William and Kate as they return to Buckingham Palace for their wedding reception after being married at Westminster Abbey. Now, it's an occasion of tremendous significance for Britain's royal family. First, of course, the marriage of a future king, also a 21st century royal wedding, and a chance to really show that it can combine centuries of royal tradition with a sense of moving with the times and being relevant for today. So, as you can imagine, against that backdrop, a huge amount of effort and planning has gone into trying to make every detail of this day run absolutely perfectly. Members of the armed forces will play a crucial role in forming the ceremonial guard and all the sense of pomp and pageantry that will surround the day on Friday. So it won't surprise you that intense rehearsals have been taking place for weeks. The very latest of them took place as London slept last night. Here's Daniela Relf to explain. With much of central London closed, the military filled the streets, their final chance to ensure everything is ready for the wedding day. It's been a test of timings and of positions as if it was Friday, but without the noise and the atmosphere. It has given an insight into the pomp and pageantry that will surround the wedding. At Westminster Abbey, the hardiest of royal fans have spent the night camping out. It seems the best vantage points have already been taken up. Inside the Abbey, the wedding venue is being prepared. The floral displays are being moved in. They include 20-foot-high trees. Many of the trees and flowers have been sourced from royal estates. But the focus is increasingly on the wedding ceremony itself.
The moment, when William answers the question, do you take Kate to be your wife? And he says, I do. Almost all the lights will go out of London because he's no longer a bachelor.
We are now very much into the final countdown to this wedding. The last run-throughs and details being checked before everyone does it for real in 2 days' time. So I'm standing in front of Buckingham Palace, but we're actually a part of a huge media installation right at this scene. And if you can hear some banging in the background, that's because final preparations as far as the media is concerned are also taking place. There are people going up and down the stairs, all the studios aiming to get the best possible view of the palace. But with me now is someone who knows exactly what it's like to be very close to the royal family. Ken Walfer, former royal protection officer. You worked with Diana, Princess of Wales, and indeed with Prince William when he was a small child. Tell me first how you came to work with them in the first place.
Well, in 1986 I was invited to put an application in to come and join Royal Protection with a specific remit at that time to secure William's schooling programme. Something that I didn't really anticipate. It was a sort of complete career change for me. But so it was. So in '86 I began that process and was there on William's first day at Wetherby School.
He was 4 years old.
Well, he was just a bit above 4, and I remember Diana saying to William in the car on the journey to the school, "Now, William, be careful. You're going to get this for the rest of your life. There'll be 130 photographers there." And then in this sort of just William way, William turns and says, "I don't like photographers." And so it was. We arrived at the school, ascended the stairs, and of course, that's when his sort of royal duty began, in essence.
And just so we understand what his upbringing was like, you or someone like you was with him at not just at those key moments, but every day as he went to school.
Well, sadly, I mean, that was the case. I mean, both Diana and the Prince of Wales were very keen to say to us, look, don't sit in the classroom, which we didn't. But we had a very discreet office nearby, and the whole way that royalty is policed in terms of personal protection is very flexible and very covert, as distinct from the overt American style. But they never complained about it, but there was that freedom and there was the space given to William, as there is indeed the space and freedom given to the Queen and everybody else. I mean, it's a specific style of protection, really.
But did your style of protection move with the times? I mean, were there requests that Princess Diana, for instance, made? Was she trying to do things differently?
Well, I think Diana she wanted William initially, of course, to have, within brackets, a normal style education. She didn't want to go away as a boarder at that age. So in those terms, yes, there were changes, but we've certainly moved with the times in security terms. I mean, one always relies upon, you know, information and intelligence in the same way that we're going to do so for the wedding on Friday. But I think the style is quite unique, and it's particularly unique to royalty protection, having been doing the job, you know, with that responsibility for many, many years.
Now, I know you haven't been working with him more recently, but as an older child, as a young teenager, what was he like? Did he ever rebel against the constraints of his life?
No, he didn't. I mean, you know, it was something that he inherited as a small boy, so he's never known any difference. But, you know, Diana particularly had this unique style where she involved not only the policemen in their upbringing, but, you know, the chefs, the drivers, everybody had a piece of the action. So William was able to see, in Diana's words, you know, what normal life was. So, you know, it was actually quite fun for him. As a young boy, I would say, unlike Harry, who was completely overt and off the wall, you might say, William was much more reserved in that sense. And even aged 5 or 6, I remember Harry saying to William, you know, it's all right for you, you'll be king one day, I won't, so I can do what I like. But it was that sort of an atmosphere within, you know, working for the royal family. And in credit to both the prince and the princess, you know, they encouraged that style of upbringing.
Ken Borth, thank you very much for joining us. And actually worth remembering that this, of course, will be an immensely policed occasion with thousands of officers involved. But Prince William and Kate Middleton's protection officers will still be not far from them, even as they actually travel to and from their wedding. George, back to you.
Michelle, thank you very much. Now, Winnie Mandela, the former wife of South Africa